Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Dancing Gnome Brewing Company out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Oh, sorry, just looking at something for a second. This one is called Lull. It just says American Ale on here, which a lot of their hoppy beers just say that. So I don't know if this is a session ale, session IPA, pale ale. It falls somewhere in that category as far as what I'm assuming based on their description. But it's funny on the can too. It says Liam Nelson. The reason it says Liam Nelson is because this is a 100% Nelson Sauvin hopped beer, which is interesting because I thought, I guess it's possible Nelson is really hard to get right now, and they got a hold of some. But I've heard Galaxy is like a really hard hop to get now. Maybe everyone gave up on Nelson Sauvin, so they started using Galaxy instead because it's from that area, and now Galaxy's hard to get. I don't know, but I have seen several places seem to be doing some Nelson Sauvin beers lately, so maybe they were able to up the production in that. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is 5% ABV. Yeah, that's all I got on it. So I'm gonna crack it open and see what we got. Get the water out of there. I've not had this. I think this is only the second time they've made this. I've not had this before, and I haven't heard any reviews for it at all either. So, going into this one completely blind, which is usually a good thing. As you can see, it pours a pretty cloudy golden color, about a finger's worth of nice fluffy white head. So the last session ale they did, which I was expecting to basically be like a session IPA, was actually rather malty. And it was pretty balanced, and I like the beer as a whole, but it was definitely not like a session IPA. This smells a lot more like and that was also you could just the look of it. It was darker. It looked like there was more caramel malt in it. This looks obviously more like a hoppy beer. Definitely some peach and citrusy character. I'm not really getting any of the white wine notes that Nelson Sauvin is known for and named after. Maybe a little bit, but it's very, very faint. That's really, really nice. Very balanced. It's so funny. I think I said this in maybe one of the last reviews I did for Dancing Gnome beer, but they they seem to really excel at these lower alcohol hoppy beers where they know that they have to scale the hops back, or it would just be way over the top bitter and just too much. Or the triple IPAs, which they can hop to hell, but because there's so much alcohol and residual sweetness, it can handle that. To me, a lot of times the ones that are in between, especially the double IPAs, are kind of abrasive, at least when they first come out. But it seems like on the ends of the spectrum, which should really be the hardest things to make, is where they seem to do the best job, at least in my opinion. I do get a little bit of that white wine character. It is a little vinous. It's a little minerally too, which is interesting. Not mixed culture sour minerally, but there's just some sort of earthy minerality to it, like a Flintstones vitamin type thing. It's a little juicy, slightly citrusy, but it's not tart or bright citrusy. but it's not pithy or bitter like at all. This is actually like incredibly balanced and crushable. And if you told me this was a 7% IPA, other than like, not feeling it in the throat, but I've had 7% IPAs that you didn't really feel the alcohol in the throat, I would believe it. I mean, the body on this is pretty substantial, but it doesn't feel under attenuated either, which is nice. And the bitterness is very, very low. It's just enough to balance out the sweetness. I mean, this in the description. I did read a small description of this on their email communication, and it said like, "Oh, this is the ultimate like, excuse me, dog days of summer crusher." And because this came out like in the end of August. So it's about a month old. So I mean, it might have tamed down a little bit since then, but I'm hoping and I'm assuming this is what it tasted like fresh. And I mean, Andrew was definitely right with that. This is definitely a summer crusher for sure. I mean, this is one of the most full flavored and full bodied 5% hoppy beers I've ever had. I'm not kidding. This is absolutely delicious. Props to Dancing Gnome and Andrew and whoever else is brewing there now. This one is a winner, and I really hope that you guys keep making this. Because I mean, in my opinion, this is up there with Lustra as far as like really, really nice lower alcohol hoppy beers that you guys do. So I think it's pretty obvious with what I was saying, but I did not buy this. I got this through a swap from a friend, but I would definitely buy this again. I'm guessing it was probably under $20 because of the low ABV, probably like 16, 17, and I would absolutely buy it, even 18. I would buy it at that price. Just a really nice, easy drinking hoppy beer that's lower in alcohol, and we need more of those. So keep pumping them out. I would definitely buy this again. But that's all I got on this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.